A mother's job is never done. With all the demands of being a mom, how do you keep it together and know you're doing a good job? So many moms wonder that, right? That's where Kansas City comeback coach and bounce back better expert Dolores Jones comes in. She joins us to talk about being good enough. And Dolores, you brought a friend.
This is Brown Sugar Tony.
Brown Sugar Tony.
He has been with us for 13 years.
Us meaning you and your son?
My son,
Okay.
right. When we went through the divorce and he needed something to remind him of mommy,
Yeah.
I comforted him with Brown Sugar Tony. And I did the make-believe, the bear could talk. And so there was a point where, you know, when your kid can give you back your advice, that means you're doing a good job. You're doing a great job. So he said, Mom, I don't want you to be alone. So he gave Brown Sugar Tony back to me. And I've kept him on my pillow in my car. And he's my guy.
And you have, that's really cute. You have an acronym for, you know, we talk about being good enough.
Yes, good, gracious, overwhelmed, overworked, and daring. Because that's the reality.
Right.
Moms are not perfect. We are human beings. We cry, we sleep, we get up, we bounce back, we do all of the things, and we do it really, really fantastically. But when you start trying to keep up with the Joneses, and you know, even the Joneses get tired, you need to realize when you decide that you're a good enough mom, you define that. And a lot of that comes with setting limits, because good enough moms, not only do they give good advice, but they set limits. For example, your priorities, I have 6 of them: food, clothing, shelter, protection, love, and acceptance, okay? Now, so when we go out shopping, I'm gonna get you good clothes. They're gonna be clean clothes. If you say that you don't wanna wear the label clothes, I don't want you to walk around naked, okay? So I'm gonna make sure that you have the clothing that you want. But you know, the kids say, she don't do that or he don't do that. My thing is, this is what I'm going to do. This is my boundary with you, okay? I'm gonna give you 2 options for food, hot or cold, okay? That's what you want. Is that what you want today? Because some days I can't do everything. And one of the dreaded things most mothers want, they don't want to hear this, is what's for dinner. It'll drive you crazy. Especially if you've done everything all week, right? So I realized Ricky was old enough, he's my son, you know that, to cook. So now he makes spaghetti, he makes tacos. So when he says what's for dinner, I'll say, you tell me, okay? But when it's up to me and I've had a long day and I'm overwhelmed, overworked, and I'm still daring, then I'll say hot or cold. Too many options make you overwhelmed. The other thing, when you have your children and you take them shopping, sometimes we don't like to do that, okay? But you set your limits. You know what your budget is. Take them to the shoe store. You sit down. That's what I did. And Ricky walked and he picked all the shoes he wanted, and the sales guy came up to me and said, are you trying to figure out which pair? I said, no, I'm trying to figure out, why would I give you half of my rent for a pair of tennis shoes? That's what I want to understand. He can look all day. Do you all have layaway? And they did, okay? The other thing, when you talk about being a good enough mom, sometimes you have just one of those days. I want you to think about this, Alexis. You do everything perfectly, and then in my case, the son comes up and he says, where's my belt? Now that's your belt, baby. Where's your belt? I can't find it. We're gonna be late. You know what I did? I grabbed a safety pin. I said, hold still so I don't stick you. And I put those pins into those pants, and they stood there. I said, now when you go to school, don't wiggle too much. It'll pop loose and you'll holler. Okay, another mother took a stapler. The baby's hem was coming out. She stapled the hem together. Just one of those days. You're good and you're daring and you're a great mother. And when your kid can give you back your advice, because here's the thing, moms, you got to have good sense. You have morals, you have values, you give it to the children, okay? And here's the ground rule in my house. I make the rules because I pay the rent. Okay, you make suggestions or you may have questions, but that's how it is. And then you go back, you want to, you know, sometimes we have the old school, because I said so, my way or the highway, but we know kids think, and babies and little kids, their job is to ask you for everything. So you have to say no, and no, and no. But then the teenager, you know this is their nature. They're there to try you. So when you put the boundaries in and they know the ground rule, you'll just say to them, I would not go there if I were you. I just would not do that. It's about to be a showdown. Okay. So when you decide how good you are, remember this, right? Have your ground rule. You make the rules because you pay the rent. Okay. When they pay rent, they move. So then you don't have to deal with that. Here's another thing I want you to remember. You have to be adaptable and practical. You don't do the same thing for your child that you did when they were 5 years old, when they're 15. And so stop trying to do that. Stop trying to overcompensate. A really quick story. I bought a PlayStation or something, and I realized he was 4 years old. I was trying to keep up with his father. I took it back to the store.
Because you realized.
I realized I was doing too much. And I'm good enough. Hey, you know how you good enough? Did we carry those babies for 9 months?
Well, I adopted, but I get where you're going with
It's
that.
okay, but
So
you understand what I'm saying?
I still carry
Honey,
him.
I am so good. That was good food that I ate to bring you into this world. So stop the dumb stuff, as I say. You are good enough and you are great. And have an okay day. And just one of those days, like today. It
Right.
might just be one of those days
Right.
for a Twinkie.
What?
A cold cut. Have a cold cut.
Have a cold cut or a
Yeah,
Twinkie
yeah, and-
for dinner.
Yeah, something. They're not
Dolores,
starving.
We like you so much. We're having you back on Wednesday.
Yes, I'm coming
so,
back.
So here's the scoop. We've got a link to Dolores on our website. If there's something going on in your life you'd like Dolores to help you with, or you want help dealing with, contact us on Facebook. We do listen to your feedback. And Dolores is coming back later this week on Wednesday to answer a topic requested by Tina Caldwell Hooks.
Hi, Tina.
So this should be exciting because you can never have too much Dolores.
Oh.
Or Sugar Bear.
This is
Sugar Brown.
baby, brown sugar
Brown Sugar
Tony.
Tony. All right, Lisa, Dave.
Bye-bye.